welcome back to my YouTube channel. As promised, I am delivering the goods and showing up for you. I really hope I have fixed this blur thing because, you know, God help me to be a little bit more technologically savvy. I usually am, so I will only see once I edit this whether I'm in focus or not, but let's pray that I am. I'm trying to see if I am, and it looks good. Is this the sweet spot? Let this be the sweet spot. Today I am here to talk to you a little bit about how to avoid escapism. It's something that's come up for a lot of people recently, and I thought I need to do a YouTube video on that. Again, it was an intuitive nudge that came through, and I was like, I will record a video on escapism. So for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Gregoria, but everyone calls me G, and I am a spiritual teacher and mindset coach. And basically my philosophy in life, my purpose, the reason why I do what I do, the reason why I've stayed committed to this journey and this path as a teacher and as a coach is to raise the vibration of the entire planet by spreading the message of light and love from a very beautiful heart-aligned space. So that's why I'm here sharing this message with you, and hopefully in some way it resonates with you. So what do I mean by escapism? I've been finding recently, even myself, that I fall into a habitual pattern to always grab my phone, even without thinking. It's very unintentional. I grab my phone and I just automatically click on the social media apps, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Pinterest, whether it be YouTube, whether it be WhatsApp, whatever the different platforms I use. I don't use Twitter or TikTok or any other platforms, but those that I do use, and I find myself just clicking on stories and sometimes scrolling, and I'm just like, why am I mindlessly always looking for that escape? And it's not just social media and technology. It may be Netflix, it may be TV, it may be eating. Eating is a really prominent way of escapism as well. Here's the thing. I remember having a friend over recently, and I love her dearly. She was one of my clients at one point. And anyway, we just had a little sleepover, and we're talking about this idea of escapism and how instead we need to be more intentional with our time, and we need to really do things that don't keep us so mindless and unintentional about the present moment. And she was like, yeah, but then I have this mind that races and continuously overthinks and thinks, well, if then I'm painting a picture, is that not a form of escapism? If I'm cooking, is that not a form of escapism? If I'm doing a puzzle, is that not a form of escapism? If I'm going for a walk, is that not a form of escapism? Because I'm always trying to preoccupy my time. And I'm like, well, what's the alternative? You go outside and then you just lay there on the grass, because she even brought up that even being on the bed, is that too comfortable? Is that a form of escapism, right? And we were in hysterics. We were laughing hysterically because it's like, at what point does it transition from escapism to being intentional? And I want to describe to you the difference between escapism and doing activities that bring us a sense of alignment. So escapism is mindless. It's unintentional. I pick up my phone without needing to, and I start mindlessly scrolling. I have no intention for being there. I'm not in the present moment. It takes me away from the present moment, focusing on things that aren't in my vision, right? Whereas if I choose right now to go and cook a meal, I'm very intentional about that decision. I want to cook a meal because I want to nourish my vessel, or I want to cook something for a friend, or I want to bring myself a sense of joy. Okay, and I'm intentional about the process. I'm focusing on the present moment. I'm in the present moment. Right? And the intention is to evoke a certain feeling. Whereas when I grab my phone to mindlessly scroll, my intention isn't to evoke a certain feeling. It is literally to pass time. Okay, so there is a very different intention behind the two things. Another example is if I'm doing a puzzle, my intention isn't to escape. My intention is to focus my mind on a specific task, to silence my monkey mind, to give my conscious mind an activity so that I surrender to my thoughts, right? It's very intentional. If I choose to go for a walk, I want to be present in the moment. I want to smell the roses. I want to enjoy the sunshine. I want to feel the feelings of being fully alive now. It's very intentional. I don't do that through my social media addiction. Okay, and that's the thing about escapism. Escapism very quickly becomes toxic. It becomes addictive behavior because I'm constantly reaching for that thing mindlessly. It's the same with cigarette smoking. It's the same with drugs. It's the same with alcoholism. It's the same with gambling. It's a very toxic behavior that becomes habitual because we're just so used to reaching for that mindless activity without being intentional about it. So how do you stop the pattern? How do you realize, you become self-aware, you start being conscious of your behavior? So what I like to do is just within a 24-hour period, test myself, write down every activity I do. So if I'm scrolling, then all of a sudden I'm like, shit, I've got to write that down. I write that down. I'm like, oh my God, I scrolled however many times. I've also got a notification on my phone that tells me how long I've been using my phone, how active I am. It compares it over the week. It tells me which apps I use the most. And every week I reflect on that and I'm like, I shouldn't be on Instagram so much, or I shouldn't be on YouTube so much, or etc., etc. So that's where I bring it to my awareness. So I'm now aware of my patterns and any that are toxic. I'm not saying that you can't mindlessly scroll. I'm saying that when it becomes habitual behavior, constantly reaching for that escape, it then becomes toxic behavior, not serving, because it takes you away from the present moment. So once you're aware of your patterns and your behaviors and any that may be toxic and not serving, you then make a conscious decision to be more intentional with your behavior. If I'm going to pick up my phone, why am I going to do that? Am I doing some research? Is there someone I wanted to follow up with? Is there something specifically I wanted to see? Because sometimes I want ideas on what to meal prep that week. So I will go and look up the plant-based hashtag and I will scroll through because I'm looking for inspired ideas, right? And I'll make notes. That's very intentional. There's a reason for being there. Okay, if I want to look through a certain number of stories, there may be a reason that I'm doing that. Maybe I need some inspiration in the moment, and there's a few people, because everyone I follow, again, it's very intentional, the environment that I've created. Maybe I'm on there to receive some intuitive guidance or an intuitive nudge, but I'm being intentional as to why I'm on there. So you make conscious decisions to be intentional with everything. If I'm going to do a puzzle, why? If I'm going to cook, why? If I'm going to go to the gym, why? I'm intentional with all of my behavior. And then you've got to commit to the intentional process of behavioral patterns, because if you're not, then you'll go back to the habitual behavior. So instead, I've got to plant new seeds every day and be very intentional with my behavior. And also check in with myself every day. Check in. Am I being as intentional as I could be today? Am I living in the present moment, or am I living in the past, always looking at old memories and thinking about past decisions and that person that pissed me off and that person that triggered me and that person that hurt my feelings? Am I always thinking about the future? Am I always overthinking? Am I always worried about what's going to happen? Am I always worried that I'm not far enough along? Am I always trying to reach for that escape? Or am I here now? Am I here now? I have my power here now. What am I doing here and now? So I take my power back. All right, so I hope this was serving to you. I know it was serving to me. And again, I was talking to a friend recently about the reason why creators create content. It isn't just serving you and the greater good of humanity. Obviously, that is our primary intention, but it serves me as well. When I edit these videos and I rewatch myself, it plants the seed. Not just plants the seed, I'm watering the seed, I'm nurturing the seed, I'm watching it blossom and bloom and grow. So it's just as serving for me too. And it reminds me to be intentional with my decisions. And that doesn't mean that I'm not human. I will go and scroll sometimes. I will be unintentional. I will just want to watch the trash TV because that's the mood I'm in at the time. We're human and we're experiencing the human plane, and I'm very aware of that. But this is about trying to avoid toxic behavior so that we can live a more fulfilling life. So I can say, today I lived. Today I was intentional with my time. And what you'll find, the byproduct of that is you'll be much more productive, because everything you do, there's a reason for doing it. It serves you in some way. It doesn't have to serve your bank account or your business or anything like that, but it has to serve your soul in some way. It has to bring you a sense of alignment, well-being, and peace and joy. all right? And that doesn't mean it's easy either. Me going to the gym isn't necessarily fun. It hurts me. Like this morning, I was dripping with sweat. I was in pain. I had very severe period pain. And yet I showed up anyway because I knew it was serving and nourishing my vessel. So it isn't always painless, but it's intentional and serving. I love you so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Let's grow this channel. Let's share it with the people we love. Let it be a place of light. Let it be a container in which we can project that energy to the world. Please like, please share. Please leave me your comments and your thoughts and anything else. This is a safe space and I love reading everything that you share with me. And if you haven't already, there's a link below to a free positivity rampage. That's all for you. You can listen to on repeat to raise your vibration. That's a very intentional activity. I love you so much and I will see you on the next video. Peace.